Let's see. Is it going to be any
any
different?
difference?
Let's see. Okay, is
Okay, is
this a
this a
live
live
one?
one?
Let's see. Hello, hello. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Good. Now it finally wants to go live now, even though it doesn't tell me in the indicator, but thanks. But anyways, so at this update, kind of uh pretty disappointed in it really. Uh I think they had so many options to do like some pretty cool stuff and just turns it just fell flat on its face really. Just bland. Is like the Indiana could have gotten a better skin, or the skin from PC. Same with Wisconsin, because if you saw their Fourth of July stuff, it looks very good, like the skins and all that. Granted, the skins I'm talking about is like a Wisconsin copy, exact copy with the skin, and then you have to get it out of a crate and a crate. Like that skin. There's also what's that one ship? Forgetting. Fort Worth. That's what it is. That could have been a really nice addition as well. Would have been cool to see that in the game. But I don't know, like, it's not really feeling it. And I feel like a lot of people are not too enthusiastic about this 4th of July. Because, well, people just see, like, the Indiana, like, think, oh, it's just like the Massachusetts and Alabama, which at this point I think is just a mix of both, with the Indiana getting a better secondary uh, array like Massachusetts, and then probably the accuracy of Alabama or close to. You know, and then destroyers are fine. I think people are overestimating the player base with how strong these destroyers are supposed to be. Because let's be honest, most people don't even look at the mini map in the top left corner. So probably that advanced radar thing is going to go out the window for most of these players. But at least it's a unique passive. The sonar one from the Pan Americans was lackluster. It just shows you the general location of the DD. It doesn't even track it, at least for like the 5 to 10 seconds it has. because I think that would have been a better option for those anyways. But I think one of the things that would have been a unique thing was like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring back like uh some classics, and then they'll bring back these stars and stripes camouflages. However, it would be for like the Wisconsin, the Puerto Rico, Louisiana, Ohio, Rhode Island, Vermont, like make it like the legendaries that have these stars and stripes camouflages as well for like free or for credits for a certain percentage or amount. I think that would have been a cool idea because like it's America's 250th, and not to mention, I'm pretty sure Americans are their biggest market on World of Warships. So I think DDs and that bundle stuff. Well, they have them in the crates still. Like they're gonna bring out like the standard, like oh, you can get them out of the crates, or if you're a spender, you can buy it, out of those crates. Get the Independium, probably get the Cambridge, and get the Burrows. I think it's just like another option for people to like, if you're like a big spender, it's like, oh yeah, you can probably, well, you probably get the ships anyways, so let's just put them in these in the random bundles, and then you can probably get them from there as well. But like Indiana, I think it's pretty cool to have her in. There's only one ship left, which would be South Dakota herself to complete the whole class of sister ships. Cambridge, I don't know, man. I'm too pessimistic about Baltimore cruiser holes now because the amount of times I get death struck from bow tanking ships is just unbelievable. I mean, yeah, 305 millimeters, the fastest reloading 305s for like 12 seconds, but it would be another thing of like how strong would the AP be on Cambridge to actually justify it? And not to mention, I guess the only unique thing about her would be not having a radar at a tier 8 cruiser for the Americans. Because Tulsa, Seattle, Salem, Buffalo, they all have radars. So she would be the first ship or first cruiser at tier 8 to not have radar for the Americans. But it's like I'm too pessimistic about the hole. However, this Baltimore hole in general always messes with me now, even though Baltimore is like one of my favorite ships to play. But let's see here. Let's talk about the Ernest D. Evans. It's annoying. You have to wait 3 weeks out of the calendar to actually get the commander that is specified for the new destroyers. Great. But his they put a lot into him to maybe even make the ships to make the new destroyer line like some sort of balanced, you know? I gotta look at the actual skills again from the video, but I think it's more overall because I don't think none of the skills reduce his reload. They instead increase the damage of shells. So I guess that would be the technical balance uh, in these ships. Let's see, Ernest D. Evans. So yeah, he gets 8% max HP for DDs, which is pretty big for like, you know, Tashkent or the German line, the secondary German gunboat German line. That could be huge if you have her. Granted, I would have to do the math to see how much that would compare to Sims, because Sims gives you a certain amount of health per tier, while this is a straight 8% max HP. There's Sims. Oh yeah, duh. So like 400 health per tier. But yeah. And then let's see here. What are the other skills that he has? Oh yeah, the unique advanced radar passive effect sweep speed by 2 degrees per second. Which I guess that ain't bad. Oh wait, no. Oh yeah, I forgot. That also gives you the reload, but it's whenever your ship is spotted. Which I don't even think that's really much because it feels like they have like a 5 to 6 second reload on their 137s. So I don't know how much that would actually affect the ships unless you just, you know, it'll probably go down to maybe 4 seconds if you have the reload mod, or reload mod and this skill up at the same time. And then I think the first skill is about is it torpedoes or is it like... So chances, the first one, beacon in the first row. Chances of destroyer HE shells and bombs causing fire, 3%. Incoming fire dispersion, -4. And torpedo launcher reload time, -4. And it acts like a twist and, or not a twist and track, ingenious, where it gives you the amount of people looking at you. Which I guess it kind of makes sense because these things don't have speed boosts, so they're kind of more like you could say like British DDs. They don't have speed boosts. They might have they don't actually have better acceleration. That's why you need the acceleration mod on them anyways. But I mean, I guess the first slot would probably be the best anyways too, just to increase the fire chance as well. But we also have to see what the detectability is, because it looks like it might be like 7.1 or something for like the tier 7s. Tier 7 and 8. And they have very unique other skills where apparently you can do more damage to already saturated spots on the ships, which is pretty interesting to see. That's like the first time I've ever, well, I'm pretty sure that's the first skill that's ever been introduced like that. And then also increases AP shell penetration multiplier by 15. And then one of the other skills called Picket Station. Destroyer damage to enemy ships, superstructure, bow, and stern, which is ideal for anyone in a DD going up against like a battleship or a cruiser that you can't citadel. Because obviously light cruisers will get citadeled by these ships, no doubt. It's like the Provorny right now, where you can just citadel a light cruiser from like 11 kilometers out. Probably be exactly like that. And then you get a consumable charge as well. So, I mean, that would only work really with, what is it, the tier 5, 6, 7, because tier 8 has the infinite radar, so you don't really need that unless you want a third smoke screen, which I don't think that's necessary with how long it takes to reload them and the duration of them anyways. So it's kind of like, it's only good for like the lower tiers really until you get to maybe like tier 7 and 8 and legendary tier, then it's not really that necessary because these things also don't even have heals, right? And then let's see here, the fourth row, it's about torpedoes. I don't know. Torpedo speed, damage increased, torpedo range reduced by 8. And then it gets a new unique legendary skill called Final Stand. Maximum projectile damage bonus for your destroyers against enemy ships with higher max HP plus 12. And then HP difference to reach maximum damage bonus plus 200%. So these would be, because these destroyers, they're pretty much like on par with Elbing, probably like Elbing HP and just like any of the German gunboat line. So let's see here. Like Maker. Yeah, I'd say about it would be that much or even more if you add Sims to them, because they would just have like over 30,000 HP, like at tier 7 and up. Because let's see here, my Elbing here, 33,940 HP. So like it wouldn't be that effective against other DDs because you would have like some of the highest HP among your class. The only thing that would rival it would be the German gunboats or the Russians if you build them into HP as well. And then it gets a special effect when your ship is less than 50% HP, is AP, HE, and SAP plus 10% increase in damage. So I'm assuming the Burrows has the SAP, or even the tier 8 as well. Because of that skill, because it says specifically for destroyers. Because, you know, of course, it can't be universal, right? It has to be specifically for DDs. So, but yeah, I'm assuming either the tier 8 or both tier 8 and legendary tier will have SAP, or just the legendary tier. That's why they specifically added SAP to that. Because on PC, Burrows has a SAP and HE. Yeah. Is Johnson getting an SAP? Spoke HE for those. Oh, yeah. That could be it. because they released Johnston like actually in October last year because it was the Navy's 250th anniversary. Also, that's what I also noticed is what they did on PC last year for the 250th anniversary for the Navy. They added two of the ships, or actually one of the ships. I thought it was two, but I'm forgetting it was Bridgeport rather than Cambridge into here. Let's see here. USS Johnston Wows. So does she have SAP? Or at least on PC? Oh yeah, yeah. Johnson does have SAP. 127 millimeter, 2,500 damage per max shell, and it's 127, so 3.5-second reload. So probably be like, I'd say close to 2.8, maybe 2.7. But yeah, I wonder how well uh, Evans would be on like some of the other tier 8s, like Laffy and whatnot. Because Laffy can be a pretty good ship with it on. But let's see here. Fleet Celebration skins. Uh, it's funny. Take a break from US theme by checking out new parade ready looks. It's like you the month is 4th of July pretty much, and then you're just like, let's take a break. So Atlantico, ZF6, Michelangelo, Marlboro, Odin, and Grashpe will get these festival skins, and they also give you 1,000 ship parts each. So let's see here. We get 8,000 ship parts for free. Well, not for free, I forgot. The campaign you had to buy. But 8,000 ship parts if you do the whole calendar, the weekly assignments, and the campaign, which I think I'm close to getting her. Yeah, I need this like 3,000 more to getting Thunderer early. I would have to be insanely lucky to get 3 of those skins that I don't care about from the parade thing in my bob. And then, yeah, that's to be expected. The collections thing where you just get a tier 3 or tier 2 ship. So we get the USS Tracy. US Alternative Destroyer crate, and Commander progression items. So, like one USDD crate from it, and probably like a promotion order and commendation, or insignia. I mean, um, let's see. Hey, I guess the other thing would be the buffs and nerfs. I don't know. Like this update just kind of seems lackluster, you know. I thought there would be more. They could have done a lot more, in fact. Also, what I've noticed is they didn't even buff like one American ship. Actually, no, I forgot. There is Fletcher. That's the only ship that they gave a buff to, I believe. Because I feel like there should be other ships that you would want to see a buff on, right? Yeah, I was kind of expecting more, honestly. Because, yeah, as I said at the beginning of the stream, is that they could have gave the Stars and Stripes camouflages to all the new legendary battleships, you know, to like at least complete the set. Like I think Louisiana, Rhode Island, and Ohio. Honestly, all of them would look perfect in that Stars and Stripes camouflage. And it's not. It doesn't even look that difficult to texture or whatnot. It's usually like you have the blue, the stars on the fronts that lead up to the back of the super, like near the superstructure. Then you just make everything else a wavy red and white. Like honestly, if they just put it out for credits, I'd buy all of them instantly. But they can't even do that. They just rerun the special Baltimore and I believe Cleveland's, right? Where's Balti? Wrong Balti. There she is. Yeah, they just kind of rerun these skins because, you know, they're the special skins for these ships. And it's still kind of pricey, honestly, with how old these skins are. Aren't they like 2 to 3 years old by now? And they're still like 2000 Independium. Knowledge torpedo speed on VDs. Oh yeah, the equilibrium power is pretty strong. Like we do at all. Well, I mean, this is like the perfect time to uh, like get people or get Americans to buy a bunch of stuff in this. And there's not like the only thing you're pretty much forced to buy if you really wanted it would be burrows. But there's like nothing like free. I think it would have been funny if you made like the skins I was mentioning, like for the legendary tier battleships for free, or maybe even like a special thing where you actually gain more oil from the daily battles and crates this month. I think that would have been a neat little idea. Because what they nerfed oil and then for the fleets, and then they never changed it back. Yeah, put everything in the store. But yeah, I think having these for the new legendaries would have been perfect. Fortunately, not. They can't retexture skin on like 4 to 5 different other ships. That's the same. The times 5 win roses and stuff. Yeah, but I think it will just be for the actual anniversary of the game because you know how that is. And what I'm hoping for that is they add the quality of life like they did on PC, where you play one ship, you get the rewards from that ship, and then you can randomly select 4 other rewards for all the other ships, or from 4 other ships that show up. So rather doing like, because I grinded the Christmas update, I had to spend, I'd say, about 2 days grinding that Christmas event to get all the Christmas tokens or whatever, and that burned me out on the game. Because, rather than playing, oh, I don't know, 500 ships, I'd rather play like 80 to 90. I think that would be a good idea. Well, let's see here. Buffs. Soam got a buff. They acknowledged that that needed a buff. Okay, what is this torpedo AoE damage? Like, is that like a new introduction to something that we never knew about? Because that was on the Hakuryu when she got her buff, where it's like, oh yeah, torpedo AoE damage increase. But they reduced her reload, which is nice. They also reduced her, or increased flooding chance by 8%, pretty good. And torpedo damage increased by like 1,000. And then Elbing got a pretty nice buff. It was slightly increased range, torpedo time reduced by 5, torpedo speed increased by 10, and then gave her an engine boost, which is kind of shocking, really. See, where is... Ah. And then Z44 got a buff, so it reducing torpedo reload time by 10 seconds. So I'd probably have like a 40... What would that be? It's either exactly 41 seconds or just like, I don't know, random percentage with how this game is, which is pretty nice. Holland's got a HP buff, torpedo buff, and then apparently standard engine boost replaced with a special one. So she gets the minute and 40 speed boost that I think all the other Pan Americans get. Same with Smallland, she also got the HP buff, torpedo buff. I'm assuming Skane got the same. Increased range, reduced reload. Orage got a buff. Custones. Custones got a buff. Why? Isn't she like the best tier 8 DD out there? And she got a buff? All because of her turret placement or whatever? Yeah, gun placement prevents her from making full use of it. What does that even mean? Where is she? She's like already strong. Just because of one gun being on the other side doesn't mean it's like, oh yeah, it's really bad. You have 5 guns on one person with better HE, and what's the millimeter? 140. Also, I just realized the new American DDs have 137s that load in like 5 seconds. Meanwhile, Casones is getting another buff to reduce her reload, probably down to 2.9 seconds with 140mm. Like what? Exactly. Casonis was already strong, and then it's like, yeah, like one turret is on the other side of the ship, so we got a buffer to give her like 2.9 second reload. Torpedo statistics. Yeah, because I like the American ones. They're gonna be similar to like Casonis, anyways, with how they are. Actually, probably not even close to Casonis. It's just dumb. I think what they were thinking of, like, oh yeah, since they're gonna have like the constant advanced radar on their mini map, it'll mean like, oh yeah, just for some particular reason, their reload increases by like 2 seconds more than a 140mm gun. Yeah. Fletcher got a buff, reload or torpedo reload buff. Torpedo max range increased and speed. So yeah, they're totally acknowledging the torpedo issue. Actually, I wonder. Actually, and no, I don't think. I was gonna say like, oh yeah, maybe like Ernest D. Evans could be a better or could be a good torp boat. Where is my? Where's Gleaves? There he is. That's like I don't think anyone will beat Gleaves in that sense. I mean, she only gives you like what -4% reload and like actually she would Evans reduces the range as well. So yeah, wouldn't be that good. But then see, Bayard got a buff. Bayard has reduced detectability and gets a infinite main battery reload booster and increased speed boost with it from 50 to 67. Which I'm very happy about that. Play base, yeah. Because that's going to be the main issue. The average players, they're not going to look at the mini map with the new DDs and they'll say, this is really bad. It needs a buff. And then it'll get buffed, and then all the good players will use it, and it'll be overpowered. Made it more fun, indeed. Because I have St. Louis Honor as well. So, actually, I would have to change it, wouldn't I? Because then, since she has the infinite, well, I guess not. It's just like, then there's no point in me having the extra reload boosters if I have an infinite. Yeah. It's like, I guess it's pretty difficult to look at the top left corner of the map to see, like, oh, there's a radar thing that I can look at, and it'll detect ships for me passively. Nottingham got a buff, a reload buff, a torp buff, and what? That's a huge torpedo buff. Torpedo maximum range increased from 7.98 to 11. That's a 3 kilometer increase on Nottingham torps. What? Like, excuse me? That's insane. And then, let's see here. From the Tier 6 Pan American, Bolognese, and up, they all got buffs. Bolognese gets a better max speed, reduced reload, HP increase. Allende gets reload time reduced, detectability reduced. Why does it need detectability reduced? Isn't it already kind of strong without? Where's my tier 6? Not that. Not that either. I don't know what I'm thinking. Isn't it? 9.1. So what is that with the tier 7 then? Because wouldn't that just be like insanely good? It was 12.5 minus 10% is about 11.25. And then obviously adding like Mikawa 6% would be 10.5. And then does the commander actually have anything that reduces detect? No. Still though, I think it would have been pretty reasonable just to leave it as is, but I guess not. Man, if only they had like better better AP or something like that. It gets a better heal, stock and upgraded whole HP regeneration increased from 50 to 70. Repair party consumable has been improved. Repair rate increased from 0.7% to 1.2 per second. Santander gets pretty much the same buffs. Actually, no, she doesn't get the detect reduced. And then San Martin just gets the heal buff. Marlborough, that's kind of interesting. She hasn't been buffed at all. So better shell grouping from 1.4 to 1.55 sigma, and HE shell damage increased from 5,300 to 5,500. Honestly, I think my favorite buffs would be Marlborough and Bayard. Like I have a lot of fun with those ships. Yeah, chase after them. The nerfs. Lepanto gets another nerf, so it's only like 750 damage off from AP. And then the whole Kijwin, Andrat, Harlem, Johan get all nerfed. They get like probably a kilometer increase in detect. And then oh, it's only detect really, and that's about it. Yeah, it's like a 1.3 to 1.4 detect increase for all of them. That's really about it. Oh yeah, it looks like they're trying to get Gunther Lutyens back in because they increased his AP shell damage bonus from 6 to 8% max for his base trait. Giuseppe Fogoso smoke deployment time from 10 to 15 max. Stig Hansen Eriksson Thunderbolt. Engine boost cooldown time acceleration improved from 3 to 4, and torpedo damage bonus increase from also 3 to 4. Norman Scott gets, well, only 1%, but from 5 to 6 in cruiser main battery shell grouping. Pretty good. Yeah, there's not much Lepanto. And I've been grinding the Pan American line. That's why I made those videos about the I already forgot the name of it. The Adventures to Bolognese. So I'll have the video up sooner. But yeah, Godin or Rehide. I think they're actually no. What I'm saying, they're not scared to buff or nerf certain ships. Well, I mean, I guess they just want those ships to be randomly very powerful still, for whatever reason. So it's like, oh yeah, it's only the tech tree ships that we're gonna go after. Then let's see here. Buffs to commander skills for Gunther Lutyens again. His damage shooting at show grouping uh, when shooting at DDs increased by double from 4 to 8. Squid's ink on Giuseppe Fogoso. Smokescreen dispersion time is now reduced by 20% instead of 50, which is that's a pretty big margin right there. Sheltered Arms, Stig Eriksson and Vincent Mordoff have this. Added new effects. Incoming splash damage to main battery is reduced by 10% max. Incoming splash damage to torpedoes launchers is reduced by 10%. What is Sheltered Arms again? Is it this? Ah, okay. So on top of the risk being reduced, it also has the splash damage reduced for both main battery and torpedoes. Interesting. Armed and Ready, Norman Scott, Kincaid, and Beepley have this. Incoming dispersion, or fire dispersion bonus from 4.5 to 5. And then added a new effect. Rudder shift time is reduced by 5%. That's pretty big. Which would be this one. Okay, no, she didn't. She had that. But that could be a nice buff to certain ships, I guess. Right? EOP, Kincaid, Scott, Montpellier, Chapayev, Aurora, Makarov, Kuznetsov, and Ivan DB Lightful. Remove the following effect. HE shell fire setting chance reduced by 25%. Add a new effect. Cruiser HE shell and bombs fire setting chance increased by 3%. The skill drawback is now the same at all levels. Cruiser main battery HE shell damage is always reduced by 20%. And the only nerf is Tetsudo. So instead of 20%, now it's 15% reduction when repair party is active. So, oh yeah, UOP buff. That's gonna be a Smolensk in that scenario. Smolensk has that. So go up to 11% with Smolensk and 28mm armor pen, I believe. Granted, if you made a full fire build with her, actually no, wrong one, Aurora has the other fire igniter. You have igniter on, you have that. So it goes up to 14% fire setting chance with Smolensk. That only affected what, the Americans? Yeah, only in the Americans and Russians. Oh yeah, true. Harbin on it as well. So yeah, just like a 16% increase of fire chance on Smolensk with all of that added. Not strong at all. What would be another good fire starter? I guess, well, it's only between Russians and Americans anyways, so like Worcester. So I already have all of that on anyways. I'm gonna remove that for now. Oh wow. That will be a 22% fire starting chance with Worcester. That's insane. Cleveland's will have she'll have a 23% fire starting chance on her then. If I add Ale Harbin to her. But yeah, I think like the buffs and whatnot, they're pretty good and could have some fun with it. But I think like the actual 4th of July part of it is just completely, utterly lackluster, really. Because I have some money saved for this, so I don't know if I'll be able to get Burrows, but at this rate, I don't think she's that interesting. Oh, I didn't even realize that. That's why they added that, like, increased damage to saturated parts of the ship. It's because of Burrows. Burrows is going to have SAP, so what does SAP do? Saturate the parts of the ships quicker. And that's why they just want her to have consistent overall damage. I didn't even think of that. I did not even think of that. I was like, why is his talking about this? I mean, yeah, sure, AG and whatnot, they can eventually saturate it, but SAP can saturate it in, like, I don't know, a few shots, really. And I'm pretty sure that's how it works, right? SAP just increases the saturation immediately, pretty much. To, like, superstructure and bow and stern. Yeah, SAP on Burrows. Gonna be nasty, especially if you're below 50% as well. Although she does not have or the Ernest E. Evans does not have mortar. Now, if it had mortar and with its legendary skill, that would be a 23% increase in SAP. Which is insane. And then, is there a ship that increases SAP? Cruiser main gun, of course. No. No. Do they not have a commander that increases damage with secondary battery SAP? Okay, I guess they don't have one that has increased damage with SAP for destroyers. But yeah, I think for the American DDs, I think people are overestimating the player base. About the DDs, because let's be honest, there's not a whole lot of good DD players out there, and when they are, they're usually on the red team. Because yesterday I had a Shimakaze on my side of the map, the only DD. He goes down center and he immediately ate the other enemy Shimakaze's torps. So yeah, really not a lot of good DD players out there. I don't even consider myself a DD player, and I feel like I'm better above average than most of the player base. Like, I only have 2,700 in standard. But yeah, I don't think the new American DDs are going to be that problematic, really. They'll just be, they'll have like the British DD speed with like German HP pools, and then I don't know what the reload time would be related to, anyways, because there's not a whole lot of DDs that have that long of a reload. You man excited? Yeah, not an aggressive game style. I think that sounds so dumb. It's like, what's the point of having a passive radar on it if you're just gonna be like actively passive at the same exact time? It'll be like, oh yeah, there's like one ship left. I see it on my radar, but I don't feel like going after it because like it doesn't get a whole lot of reload. However, all the damage however all the stuff that would make it strong against other DDs is the actual damage that it gives, because you have the plus 15 AP pen that could be nasty against like Kaba or like the German gunboat lines. And then you have her legendary skill on top of it. When you're just below 50% HP, you get a permanent 10% increase of HE and AP. Yeah, don't get excited, people, this time. But honestly, I think you would just benefit rather than building into reload. You just build it into damage. It will be like similar to Summers, like she may not have the best reload, but when she hits you, she'll hit. Because yeah, 1,800 damage per HE shell hit from Summers, and she has a 5 point. Well, mine has a 5.9. Oh yeah, that's right. I was trying to random build with her. It's now 4.9. So just 4.9 second reload with her, but yet she packs. So I might try like Fournay on those ships just to give them a increase in as I'm showing those. Oh yeah, duh. Because what Fournay has, if you max him out, like I think 6% increase in HE shell damage. There he is. Yeah, could have that, or even what I run is, because I think it's diabolical, is to have AL Chapayev on, because with the bigger guns, you're gonna probably knock out engines quicker, and so just having this will knock out like a bunch of things on other DDs when I fight them. So Chapayev could be another good inspiration to have on him. And yeah, I don't think they said. I think they're gonna have like higher concealment. I don't think that's really an issue with these ships. Let's see here. Let's say 7.1 minus 10%. 6.3. And then you do that minus, what did I have on? Minus 3.8%. That would be 6.1. That's not that bad. Unless you really don't want to be spotted in these ships, you would have to run double concealment. But I think 6.1 isn't that bad. Because, what is it? The radar goes the same amount of distance as the actual radar, or the passive radar goes the same amount of distance as the radar itself on the minimap. So if you have like 6.1 kilometer detect, you're going to spot them way further than you'll spot before you get spotted. Plus then, well, those things look pretty chunky. They're pretty large DDs, so it would make sense that they have higher concealment. It's actually, what's my Elving at? Just another comparison. Unless I skipped over it, which I forgot. I removed tier 8 from it. Elving comparison in terms of detect, 5.3. Oh yeah, duh. That's fine. So if I take this off, or let's just do standard without the thing on. 5.7. Then if I add that on, 5.9. So somehow Elbing would not compare even with mortar on. It would not even go up that far against these American ones. But obviously, I think you would have to trade off. Actually, you can have the same amount of, or similar amount of detect with Elbing as compared to tier 8. I'm forgetting its name. Because you would have to trade off the 15% AP penetration multiplier, and I think the saturated turret, or saturated increased damage against saturated stuff, to get the Look At Me Now skill. Let me relook again. Yeah, you would have to trade punching up, which gives you the destroyer AP shell penetration multiplier, and max change the destroyer main battery shell damage against saturated hits locations, scaling with saturation level. You would have to give that up to get Look At Me Now, to get the pretty much similar detect as you would have with Elbing. But yeah, I think for this update, for the 4th of July aspects, could have definitely done so much more that honestly would have given them so much like credit to them, but it's like, yeah, kind of disappointing, really. But for like the buffs and whatnot, to like all the ships and the commanders, pretty good. Although I don't think Casonas really needed another buff. But who knows? Maybe it's like to see if it can go up against the tier 8 American DD. Then all the ranks, ranked. Gonna have to play tier 8. That's probably why they added another ranked, was because, oh yeah, Cambridge and Indiana, they're tier 8s. We gotta add another tier 8 ranked immediately. But then Indiana looks like a mix between Massachusetts and Alabama. I hope she does have the same accuracy as Alabama, because she's like one of the most accurate tier 7 American battleships. And would have been cool to have a unique skin for Indiana rather than just another Great White Fleet one, which, Wisconsin, that was unique to her, but now not anymore. Well, unique to her and, what was it, Puerto Rico? Yeah, Puerto Rico. Superheat? Aw, wait, does that mean like better HE, right? I mean, the sonar thing on PC, it was given sonar as well. Or super heal, okay. Super heal, I think it's similar. I think it might be similar to like Vanguard, but just gotta see how well it plays, because it has a lower pool, HP pool, than some of the other ones. And I kind of found it funny in the main comment section. Someone's like, "Oh yeah, you know, Indiana is not going to be like a brawler or anything like that." And then it got was you might have Massachusetts secondaries. Granted, I don't know what the Citadel looks like, but I'm assuming underwater. That's why I think she'll be a pretty good brawler too. And then I can try multiple builds by having like Massachusetts or AL Massachusetts on her and like Colorado and whatnot. Be interesting. Does have 7 km battery or secondary battery. So yeah, I think that's the same as or similar to Ohio, right? I think it would be. Just put them on for now. Obviously, with my, yeah, it would be like Ohio, like 11 kilometers, so range. Tier 8 Massachusetts with faster turrets. Is the turrets like 30 seconds then? Because that's how like all the new ships are. It's like, oh yeah, they have slow turrets, and then it's like 30-second degree or the 30-second at 180 turn time. Because yeah, Massachusetts does have, if you don't build for like Kedroff Honor, does have pretty bad turret traverse time. Yeah, 45 seconds. True. 1.9 Sigma. See, Massachusetts has 1.89, but it doesn't act the way it should, you know? Then Georgia, 2.04. Constellation has like one of the highest. Alabama, I think, yeah, 2.15. 2.15 with Constellation as well. So, I mean, if it's 1.9 exactly, it'll probably go up to 2 if you build her for accuracy. So who knows? Maybe it could have the same dispersion as like Alabama and Constellation at the tier. I forgot to put Kansas. What does she have? 2.06. 2.04. I just hope she's accurate. Even with or without a accuracy commander. Because if she's not, then that's even another big disappointment for the 4th of July update. It's like, yeah, she's just not going to be accurate at all compared to like other ships at tier 8 and whatnot. Granted, I don't think you could beat Wisconsin accuracy really unless you make it exactly like her accuracy, but because obviously there's like some sort of other element in play where it's like battle cruiser dispersion or cruiser dispersion and all that. Which I bet she'd probably get like battleship dispersion. Hmm. But I think that's really about it. The patch notes, 4th of July stuff, disappointing. The buffs and whatnot, pretty nice. We'd have to see about the random bundle stuff, but it's probably going to be expensive to get burrows anyways. Because, once again, they didn't show how much it would cost to get burrows. Granted, I should probably look at how much San Martin cost. Well, before I leave, let's try to find that live stream. Pan American Cruisers. Oh yeah, that's another funny thing. They made the tier 5 and tier 8 skins up to burrows the same amount. So rather than like slowly increasing like how they did with the Pan American stuff, it's just a strict 5,000 Independium. And San Martin costed 22,500. How much did it cost for all those Pan American skins? 5,500. Oh, 9,000. 13,000. 17,500. And then exactly 40,000. So, unless they're going to be rats again, uh, getting burrows would be 44,000 or 40,000 Independium, unless they randomly increases the price or it's another 22,500. But with how disappointing the 4th of July stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually increase the price for it. So yeah, just a reminder, like 40,000 Independium from all the skins and the ship for the Pan Americans to San Martin was 40,000 of their coin. And already the 4 skins of the new line is already 20,000. So theoretically, if they're gonna actually keep to their cost price or pricing, Burrows should be 20,000 Independium by herself. But yeah, I think that's it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you, well, Monday when the update drops. I'll see you then. Take care. Goodbye.